Hey guys, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something so super exciting and I'm so excited, and I have this flower crown on to get in the mood, and that is the Mamma Mia Here We Go Again book tag. It was originally created by Ashley Paged. I will link her original video down in the description. I've never done a book tag before where I just like lip sing around to talk about books, but that seems like right on brand for my personality because I love musicals. Have been obsessed with Mamma Mia since I watched it for the first time in February, which why did it take me that long to watch it in the first place? And the second one, I've been listening to the soundtrack nonstop. So this is literally the perfect book tag for me to do, and I just can't wait to dive in and be silly, and it's probably gonna be embarrassing, but it's gonna be so much fun, so come along for the ride.
Everybody scream when I kiss the teacher. Everybody's got thought they dream when I kiss the teacher. All my friends at school, they had never seen the teacher blush. She looked like a fool. She didn't catch the night that she was taken by surprise. When I kiss the teacher, but if I could read her eyes, when I kiss the teacher, my book has went by. As I held with her nose till my day, she just smiled.
The question for When I Kiss the Teacher is name a book with a shocking plot twist, and for this one I had to go with Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. I've been reading this series like wildfire, burning through all the books, and I finished this one last night, and there were too many plot twists to even name just one, but I was shook and I was like, I was speechless. Like, what's gonna happen? How did you people that read this book in 2016 survive until now, where you won't even have the answers until 2018? Like, whew. This one was a shocker. I'm now obsessed with this series.
I have met my destiny in quite a single way. It's the book on shelf, always leading south. I'm feeling one more. I'm the body forevermore. Water, can't escape if I want to be. Water, you're in the face of me. Water, finally facing my water.
So this question for Waterloo is name a book you're positive you'll be in love with. For this one, I obviously have to go with Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Anything else that I've read by her, so far I've read her Shades of Magic series and her Monsters of Verity duet, and I am just so in love with her writing and just who she is as a human. I've watched some of her speeches and follow her on Twitter, and she's just so well-spoken, and her works, if you listen to the inspiration like behind why she creates the kind of fantasy worlds that she does, and just why she believes in really good representation and just always has such unique, interesting ideas, like it's so cool to hear her talk about that, and I know that I'm probably gonna love this book just as much as I love all of the other ones. So I can't wait to read it.
I'm so lonesome, I'm blue, I can't help it, it happened to you and I always not know the reason why. I leave my left a little unfair, I see what beginning to care, the letting me, it's my love to forget you.
Whew, and that, I really like that song. Anyways, for Why Did It Have to Be Me is named Look You Went To get over a reading slump. So basically, my whole last semester of college was a giant reading slump because I just didn't have time to read. And when I finished college and I was kind of taking a break for a while, January, February time, I was like, I don't really know what kind of books I want to get into reading, and I was trying out a few different types of books, and then the book that really hit me and just propelled me forward into my reading journey and got me out of the biggest reading slump of my life is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, because I read this book and I was like, oh my god, this fantasy world is amazing and I love these characters and it's addictive and immersive. And then I continued and just binged through the other two books in the series, and then I was like, I need to read everything fantasy, everything like adult fantasy, YA fantasy, whatever, and now I discovered BookTube, and then here I am today. So thank you, A Darker Shade of Magic, for that.
I have dreamed a song to sing to help me cope with anything. If you see the wonder of a fairy tale, you can take the future, even see. I believe in angels when I know the time is right for me. Across the street, I have a dream.
So for I Have a Dream, the question is name a book character that inspires you. And for that one, I'm gonna have to go with Katie Grant from the Illuminae Files. She is a hacker and she's kind of thrust into these extraordinary circumstances, but it's really her smarts and her bravery that pulls her through and allows her to take on more of a leadership role and save everyone's asses. So, you know, she inspires me. I wish I was as good at computers as she was, because knowing how to code and hack and stuff is a valuable skill in this market. And she's just brave and awesome, and I kind of wish I had pink hair.
I'm not day, but slowly with me now. I'm your music, I'm your song. Make me smile, make my head, and make me strong. Make me sing, make me sound. I'm not day, tread lightly on my bow. I'm not day, but please don't let me down.
So Andante Andante is what book are you currently reading? And that is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I just started this, so I'm on page 27. I did not get that far, and yeah, I'm really interested to see how I like this one after binging through the other Throne of Glass novels, and this one is just about Kale. And I was feeling kind of meh about him going into this one, so we'll see how it goes.
Loving me, loving you. There is nothing we can do. Loving me, loving you. We just have to face it this time. Looking up is never easy. I know what I have to do. I know. Loving me, loving you is the best I can.
So for this one, it's name a book that you had to break up with and DNF, and for that one, it is A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluess. I randomly was scrolling on Amazon and found this one, and it sounded intriguing. It's about a female sorcerer that is like the prophesized one, so it's kind of like the chosen one trope, but somehow like inverted, and I picked this one up right after A Darker Shade of Magic, which was probably a mistake because this is like, I think, more towards the younger end of young adult, and the writing is very simplistic. And after reading Victoria Schwab, like rich world building and her like amazing writing, I picked this one up, and it was another wizard book, and it just fell completely flat for me, and I'm like, I really just am not in the mood for this, so I DNF'd it. Not to say that I won't ever go back to it another day, but it just didn't work out for me at this time. It's not you, it's me.
There's a fire within my soul. Just one look and I can hear the wind. One more look and I can hear everything. Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist you? Mamma mia, does it show again? My, just how much I missed you. Yes, that's broken hearted. Lose this day, hearted. My, did I let it go? Mamma mia, no, I really know. My, I should not let you go.
For Mamma Mia, here we go again. This one is name a book that you have recently reread. And for this one, I'm gonna go with The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. If you've been following any of my reading vlogs or anything like that, basically my best friend Melissa and I read this series together in high school. She would buy the books, and then she was like, this series is amazing, you have to read it. So she lent me all of her copies, and we would read it and talk about it together. And we were 16, and now we both graduated college, and we're kind of on this reading resurgence now that we have time. So we decided to tackle the entire Mortal Instruments series leading up to Queen of Air and Darkness, and it's been so much fun to reread this series as an adult, but like with my best friend that I originally read it with. So it's really cool to see how things have changed in our perspective from the time we were 16 to like now when we're older. So far we've read City of Bones, City of Ashes, and City of Glass, and our next book is Clockwork Angel, and we are going to be starting that soon, starting the Infernal Devices. I'm so excited. Ooh, I'm so excited for this next song.
Feel the beat from the tambourine, oh yeah.
And this one is name a book that made you want to dance around the room. And I read a lot of fantasy, and usually while there's cute moments, there's also moments that rip out my heart. So that does not put one in the mood for dancing around the room. But the one book that I recently read that really just made me squeal with joy is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Oh my god, this book is so adorable. I love Simon and Baz. When things happened in this book, I was squealing. I was like, oh my god, these things are happening, and I love it. And I did want to dance around the room because it was so cute and I love them. And then when I finished this book, I went on Pinterest and I looked up fan art of them for hours because I was obsessed. So they're so adorable. This book makes me want to dance and be the dancing queen. This one for Super Trouper is name a book series that you haven't finished due to its intimidating size. And I am one that I usually start a series and I binge the whole thing. So I don't have many of that, but one series that I haven't started because of its intimidating size is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, or really any of Brandon Sanderson's works. They just seem very long and intimidating, so I haven't touched them yet, but I've heard amazing things about them, so I know it's definitely something that I eventually want to read. But when each book is like 1,000 pages long, it's a little scary, you know? It's a little scary. All right, so that's it for all of the questions that were in the original tag, but I love Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again so much, and I love ABBA, if you can't tell by my very enthusiastic dancing around. So I wanted to do not one, but 2 bonus songs because they're 2 of my favorite songs on the movie soundtrack. Without further ado, let's get into the bonuses. For Angel Eyes, it's gonna be name your fictional bad boy book crush. And for this one, there's many a bad boy book crush that I can go with, but for this one, it's gonna have to be Nick Malakov from Gemina. I mean, something about that angel tattoo and his tragic backstory really just gets those bad boy, but like sensitive bad boy vibes going for me, and he's my bad boy book crush. I mean, just look at him. He's so cute for like a fictional person. And last but not least, bonus round 2.
Can you hear the drums from that boat?
What?
I'm not ashamed to say the roar of guns and candles almost make me cry. There's something in the air, like the stars fighting from that door. There's a young man for you and me, for liberty from that door. Knowing that I'm gonna be who lose, there's no prayer. If I had to do the same again, I would not say from that door. If I had to do the same again, I would not say from that door.
I couldn't do this tag without including Fernando because it's one of my favorite songs on the soundtrack, and Cher. Need I say more? Also, fun fact, Cher is coming out with her own album of ABBA covers, and I need it in my life right this second. That's something I didn't know that I needed, but I need it now. My question for this song is name your favorite atmospheric historical fiction novel, because Fernando is kind of like a atmospheric, whimsical song about Fernando who fought in the Mexican Revolution, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, for this one, I'm going to go with The Queen of the Night by Alexander Chee, which is a story about an orphan who becomes a famous soprano with a dark past, but when she's offered the role of a lifetime, she finds out that the libretto, aka like the song, books and lyrics and stuff, is based on her own dark haunting past, and it takes place in like the glamour of the Paris opera, and it was so atmospheric, and the story was just kept me on the edge of my seat. It was pretty wild, and I love all things musical theater, opera, stuff like that, so it was right up my alley. So yeah, definitely give this one a look if it's something you think you'd be interested in. Okay, so that's it for this tag. If anyone from Broadway is watching, I'm totally down to play Sophie in Mamma Mia. You know, I did musical theater in high school, so I'm totally prepared to make my Broadway debut in Mamma Mia. Or if you know you need someone for the 3rd movie, you know, just give me a call. So anyways, I had a lot of fun. I feel kind of silly dancing around by myself in front of my bookshelf, but you want to know what? I'm going to put it on the internet anyways, put the good vibes out there, and I hope you guys enjoyed this and enjoyed me having a good time but kind of making a fool of myself. Well, that's it for now. Have some fun, read some books, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.